I want to bring in Travis Weber, Vice President for Policy here at the Family Research Council, to discuss another topic that we've been covering this week, and that is the anti-Semitism issue that's been happening on college campuses across the nation. We're going to be talking about that next segment with Senator Daines. But the Antisemitism Awareness Act that passed Congress last week, passed the House, now over in the Senate, has drawn criticism from the left and the right. And FRC has a resource available to help you navigate that. Travis, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, Tony.
So give us a quick rundown on the legislation and, or rather the fact sheet that deals with the legislation, where folks can get a copy of it.
Yeah, so this is available at frc.org on our homepage at frc.org/HR6090 at the short link. Basically, the bill clarifies that anti-Semitism is something that can be addressed by the government under Title VI, which governs how federal funds should be spent on college campuses. So this is clear. It's clearly an issue, needs to be addressed, and it applies a certain definition of what that means. That's the simple matter. You know, there are some questions and concerns about free speech, but our resource addresses the context into which this issue is placed. And Tony, you know, this is crucial at this moment because of the need to stand with the Jewish people and everything they're facing. So we're here to do that with this resource. All
right, and folks, this kind of walks you through that. Again, you can go to tonyperkins.com and follow the links over. All right, Travis, we may come back to this a little bit later, so just stand by. All right, this just in, the House has voted to table the resolution to remove House Speaker Mike Johnson. So the motion to vacate put forward by Marjorie Taylor Greene has been canned. So hopefully this will take the spotlight off of her, and she can go back to doing whatever she was doing before. But hopefully the House will be able to move forward now with the work that needs to be done without this being a daily discussion item. Joining me now to wrap this up and to go back to our discussion on the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, Travis Weber, Vice President of Policy here at the Family Research Council. Travis, a fluid program today with a lot happening on Capitol Hill. Any additional thoughts or comments on the motion to vacate that was just tabled by the House?
Yeah, I mean, Tony, that was a quick process, and you know, I think we have this behind us now, where Speaker Johnson is, you know, is an affirmation of him as House leader, and he's in his post.
Well, he and I talked about this earlier in the week, and you know, the idea was to immediately move to this and not. The motion required it to be voted on within 2 days. I think some thought that it would hang out there for 2 days, giving them an opportunity to be in the limelight and message on it. And I think he made the right move by moving to table it immediately and putting this behind the House. Let's go to some of the issues that critics have been hitting on. One of them is just what we were just talking about right here with Meg. Anti-Semitism Awareness Act that passed the House last week. It's pending before the Senate. This is language that has been in place since the Trump administration, by executive order in December of 2019, put across all federal agencies. The State Department has had this language since 2016. Why all of a sudden is it a problem?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder the answer to that question. There's no logical reason it should suddenly be a problem, because this largely takes what's already in the Trump administration's executive order, places it in statute, and says, here's Congress's voice on the matter. And if there's ever a time we need Congress's voice on this matter, we need it now. We're in a different world post-October 7th, and these events, this vote, this bill cannot be examined out of that context. The attack on October 7th, the United States abstaining with the Security Council in late March, Iran attacks, and you look at what's happening in campuses. Right. We need to stand with the Jewish people. This is crucial.
Two big issues here that critics raised. Number one is that it criminalizes the gospel.
Yeah. We addressed that in our newly released resource here, available at frc.org/HR6090 on the homepage as well.
First off, this is not criminal.
It does not criminalize.
It's actually a civil statute, so it doesn't even deal with criminal law.
It doesn't, and unfortunately, it's taken off online. It's not the place to base your full examination or opinion on the matter. We encourage folks to read the bill. We kind of review the bill and different issues in this fact sheet, but to answer the question, no, it does not address criminal law. It does not contravene the First Amendment. It provides for this definition of anti-Semitism to be used in Title VI federal funding matters and determinations of whether there's been ethnic, national origin, or racial discrimination by a higher education institution. That's been around for decades. And it never was clear whether anti-Semitism could be categorized under ethnic discrimination. So since the Bush administration, for decades since then, they have said, look, anti-Semitism can be classified here. What this does is says this definition of anti-Semitism since 2019, which has been in the Trump administration executive order, it uses that definition, puts it in statute. The reason that's important is it doesn't let people off the hook by saying, I'm criticizing Israel, I have vitriol directed against Israel, but I'm not anti-Semitic because I'm just criticizing Israel. This definition is important because it ties anti-Semitic action and attitudes to the nation of Israel. And if you go after the nation of Israel because it is Jewish, as a Jewish homeland, this is capturing the truth of anti-Semitism, and that's very important. And
over 1,000 jurisdictions have used this very same definition, and there's not been one case of what the opponents of this say has happened where the gospel's been criminalized or silenced.
Yeah, it's out there. It's been used. It's over 30 states, 70 municipalities in the United States, many nations around the world. So, but Tony, I think it's important if we look at the issue here. We understand people, look, we want to affirm the First Amendment, but the context here, it's not the concern that's being articulated on social media. It's important that folks understand that, and it's important we look at this in the moment that we're in.
Travis Weber, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.